there's something nice about and tangible being able to produce that other people can see, that you're producing stuff that goes on BBC One, BBC Two, and that people go, oh yeah, I recognise that, I saw that the other day. I'm Daniel James, I'm a freelance video editor and I mainly work for the BBC. So my first steps in the career ladder, I wanted to initially go down the route of going to Bournemouth University to do TV production, the sort of standard sort of school route as it were. Didn't quite get the grade I needed in physics, so then just decided to have a stab at getting into the industry. Through some people that I knew, I tried to get running positions at the various different places in Soho, and then from there just got little jobs off the back of that, kept trying to make a good impression wherever I was. And eventually one of those companies followed up and said, do you want to come and work here as a full-time runner? And then from that moment onwards, kept working my way up. Don't believe me, just watch. So a runner job is sort of like the sort of bottom of TV, as it were. You basically doing all the medial sort of jobs of just fetching things, delivering things, making teas for people, getting food, just making sure everyone, if you're on a set for instance, you make sure everyone's fed and watered and everyone's sort of happy. If you're in the office, it's just doing little bits that help the office sort of work. And it's a really good time to get to know people, try and make a good impression, and it's night and day sometimes, good runners versus sort of bad runners. Some people take it as, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, I should be doing better things. But I really enjoyed it. It was a great way to network and, eventually made all the contacts that I know today. So usually your project lasts for, say, 6 weeks. Your first bit is you get all the interviews that have been filmed, that are usually hours long. You go through the interviews and you work out which bits of audio, which bits of sync, which is the audio and video, that you want to use to tell that story, and then you work out the best way to keep compacting that down to the 3-minute sequence or whatever size sequence you want.
Before we leave, let me tell you a little something.
Okay, loads of the job. Probably when you're working up towards transmission deadlines, so when it's about to be broadcast on a channel, you start to have to work very long hours because inevitably things don't always go to plan, or there are just some things that can't be filmed to the very last moment. So you end up working very long hours, and that can be sort of like quite sort of strenuous. So my future aspirations from here, I've kind of done the thing of trying to be the sort of top editor, as it were, in terms of sort of broadcast, working on BBC One and sort of big sort of TV channels like that. Now it's more about wanting to have a greater editorial control of sort of like the story and stuff. So basically producing your own documentaries, doing things that you actually enjoy making sort of shows about. So not necessarily things that are big commercial hits that have millions and millions of people viewing. Something more sort of like niche. So working more for like BBC 4 or BBC 2. I think anyone that wants to become a video editor, job-wise, you definitely want to start off as sort of staff. You want to have that security blanket of a company that can look after you, that can train you up in the right ways. But also, this sort of industry is about discovering what you're good at. I was quite fortunate that I thought that I kind of did want to go into editing, and I sort of followed that because I had a good chance at East White School to have a go at that, and I knew that was what I enjoyed. But a lot of people, they think they want to do one sort of route, they want to be a director or something like that. They start working and realise that actually they don't really like being a director. They don't like sort of, it's not as glamorous as they thought, but they'd actually much rather be working in props or something, or being a producer.